to stay. I'm here to stay.
It ended in defeat against Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday, but there were so many positives to take from Hillsborough. We didn't really get what we deserved, but tonight we go again. Plymouth Argyle are the visitors at the Valley this evening, and having beaten early league leaders Peterborough on Saturday, they'll have their eyes on 3 points themselves. It promises to be a mouth-watering clash in SE7 tonight, and we've got lots coming up before kick-off. We'll hear exclusively from manager Ben Garner, who has had a couple of days to reflect on what was both an encouraging and disappointing afternoon up in Sheffield on Saturday. We'll also hear from Albie Morgan, who has made a very good start to the new campaign in the middle of midfield. And away from football, we'll speak to Steve Sutherland, who is a member of the recently formed 30 Years Back at the Valley Celebrations Committee. Delighted to say Curbs is with me this evening. Curbs, you, I and Brownie had a good debrief on Saturday after the game, didn't we? It was good fun, wasn't it?
Got told off again.
Did you? By the missus?
Like these boys get me in so much trouble.
Well, we can't say who's alongside us right now, because first of all, we want to show this.
Shaking off one challenge, it's bouncing for Nelson, he scores! Gary Nelson puts Charlton in front.
Nelson's onside, he's being pushed, the referee is playing play on. Nelson's round, he's there! That was well played, well seen.
And that's a lovely first time ball for Colin Walsh out towards the right flank. Nelson cutting in, Gary Nelson on his left foot with a chance. Oh, fine goal. Leeburn running clear of the county defence. He's picked out Gary Nelson, 3-1. Penalty, Leeburn's up there. Chance now for Nelson. Oh, fine goal. Gary Nelson on the volley with his 14th of the season.
Yes, a former Pilgrim, but more importantly, a former addict, of course. It's Gary Nelson. Nels, how are you? Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. I made 70 minutes in 34 degrees on Sunday, playing for England over 60s.
We'll come on to that a little bit later on. Don't worry.
Where?
Leicester.
We'll come on to that in just a second.
Normally plays 70 minutes for us.
No, he played 90 minutes and did some running for a lot of other people as well back in the day. How you been? Good summer?
Yeah, it's very good, thank you. Yes, we do a little bit of rain, and I think I'll be out there dancing when we do, but no, a really good summer, thank you.
Brilliant. Curbs, go on. What were you going to say about the missus? She told you off, did she? On
Told me
Saturday?
off. She said I'm getting home later from these games than when I managed. So I said, I can blame it on the tunnel. Always blame it on the tunnel.
You didn't blame it on me and Brownie then?
No, I can't say that.
OK. Nels, you've always done your homework on Charlton TV. I mean, what have you made of the new look Charlton so far this season?
Yeah, it's a bedding in period, it's a new philosophy. So the manager's brought in some 2 or 3 players that he's known and knows what kind of job. It's going to take a little bit of an adjustment, I think, but he's set his stall out. He's going to play the way he wants to play, and he wants his players to play that way. And yeah, a mixed bag of results so far, but you often get that at the start of the season. You're just looking for that bit of consistency. Good opportunity now, 2 home games coming up. You know, be looking for, you know, minimum I'd have thought of 4 points from 2 relatively tough games. I think this one's probably, on paper, a tougher game than Saturday's, but you know, maybe doing Cambridge a bit of a disservice.
Both are up there at the moment, aren't they? Certainly started well so far. Actually, before we get too deep into the conversation, there's no Brownie tonight, is there?
Well,
not here, not commentaries. He's gone away, isn't he?
I know, his wife's paid for an holiday, not him.
He was claiming it was him.
Yeah.
Because it's Mrs. 50th. Shouldn't have said that on air, actually,
No.
But
yeah.
I mean, look, he always gives you stick for going away, so you should have your right to reply.
Yeah, but he's got to Ireland, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So it might be raining there. Knowing Brownie, it'd be raining, it'd be grizzly. Can he tune in?
He should tune in.
He can tune in.
If he's a proper professional, he should be tuning in.
Make sure they've had their dinner early.
Yeah.
And
It's her birthday today.
It's her birthday.
Was it today? Yeah, Mandy would love that, wouldn't she? On
It's
her
your birthday treat, honey.
Look, I mean, on a serious note, though, Kurt, what do you think will have gone through Ben Garner's mind over the last couple of days?
I think he'd say the 3 games have all been different, but at the end of it, perhaps 4 points from the 3 games is fair. So you look at the Accrington game, and as we've said it before, and you've seen it already in the results, that's a difficult place to go to. We played them early on, which was nice, but that's a difficult place.
Could have lost that.
Yeah,
could have won it, but could have lost it.
Got a point, so you come away from that. The Derby game, who I think they're going to be up there, because I think their resources and everything else could have been over by half-time. They didn't take advantage, and they paid the price. And it's a bit similar for us on Saturday. I think we played ever so well, without really threatening the goal, but deserved at least a point and got nothing. So I think possibly 4 points from the 3 games, but as Nel said earlier, we've got 2 home games coming out there against decent opposition, and hopefully, if we can take maximum points, then we'll be up and around it, and also we'll set a marker. We've won 3 home games, and hopefully, you know, because that is what we need to do. We need to start winning games here if we've got any chance of the playoffs.
Absolutely. Okay, remember we are streaming worldwide tonight. That includes the UK and Ireland. So if you haven't got your Charlton TV pass, please do so before kick-off. Okay, let's crack on ourselves then, shall we? And hear from the gaffer, Ben Garner, who spoke to Terry Smith yesterday.
Ben, just a couple of days on from Saturday's game against Sheffield Wednesday, a performance that had lots of positives. What went through your mind on the coach journey home, and have those thoughts changed at all since you've rewatched the game?
Not really, if I'm honest. It was frustrating not to take anything from the game, to go to Sheffield Wednesday, to Hillsborough, to play so well and come away with nothing was very disappointing, but also took a lot of confidence and a lot of pride in the performance. You know, I was really proud of the players, the way they approached the game, to go there and go not just toe-to-toe, but be the better side, in my opinion, with a team that I think will be up there as certainly one of the favourites for the title this year. Was really, really pleasing, but we don't want to be coming away from games like that and performances like that with nothing. We want to be coming away with at least a point. Even a point, I'd have been a little bit disappointed. You know, really with that level of performance, fine-tuning 1 or 2 bits, we want to be taking 3 points.
Plymouth to come next. They had a fantastic result against Peterborough at the weekend. What are you expecting from them?
Tough game. They had a really good season last year. I think they're a club that's progressed on and off the pitch over probably a 3-4 year period now and done that really, really well, both from a business model point of view and also a football point of view. So, tough game. Like I say, really good season last year. They've started this season well. I've obviously watched them play. They're very organised. They're well coached and they've got good attacking threats within the team. So we know we're going to have to play to a good level to win the game.
As you say, great season last year, but tailed off a little bit towards the end. Are you expecting them to go better than that and be top of the division again?
I think they'd be up the top end looking at them. And you never know. You know, you can never predict these things, but I think they've been consistent in their approach. They've got the same core of the team from last year and they made 1 or 2 really good additions. So they're quite far into their process, if you like, and they're just adding 1 or 2 each window to try and strengthen themselves. So, as I say, it's going to be a tough game, but we've had a really good start at home. We want that to continue, and hopefully we can pick up another 3 points on home turf.
Having watched Plymouth, where do you think we can earn?
I'll keep that to myself. Listen, every team's got strengths, and they've also got areas that you can exploit, and we did that really well against Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday. Just needed to be a little bit more clinical. And that would be the only message really today is if we can have that same control of the game and the same possession that we did, we just want to be a touch more clinical and hopefully create and take more chances.
By the time this interview goes out, we all know you're starting 11, but this week makes it back-to-back Saturday, Tuesday weeks. How many additional things does that give you to think about selection-wise?
Yeah, obviously the next game's always the most important, but for me, I've always got one eye on the next game or two, thinking about, okay, who might need to come in and play, who might need to rotate out. And we're lucky that we've got a good squad. You know, we've got good depth, and I would say the best thing about our squad is you're not going from that level to that level with a change. It's very close, and we've just got different types of players that can come in and do different things. So good to have selection headaches. I'm happy with the group where they are. The spirit again on Saturday was very, very good, and we just need to now take the confidence from Saturday, but make sure that ends up in a result that we want tomorrow.
And finally, back at home, we're 2 from 2. How much are you looking forward to playing in front of the supporters again? Yeah,
really looking forward to it. It's always nice to get off to a good start at home, and we want to try and make the Valley a very difficult place for teams to come and play, both with our performance on the pitch and both with the atmosphere that's created. I don't want opposition teams to come and enjoy it one bit, if I'm honest. So the crowd have been fantastic so far. Long may that continue, and hopefully together we can make it a real fortress this season.
Yes, Kurz, I know that's what you want, that's what we all want, isn't it? A fortress here at the Valley. But there's confirmation of tonight's starting 11. 3 changes from the game to Hillsborough. Sam Lavelle comes in at centre-back. Charles Claydon makes a full league debut at left-back. And it's a full debut for Jez Raksakio on loan from Palace. On the right, of course, Sessegnon, Innis and Corey dropped to the bench. Thoughts, Curbs?
Well, I think the Lavelle for Innis, I think we know the injury situation with Innis, and he's had 2 tough games, so you can see that one. And as he said, Ben, there's not that much in that one. I think Corey Blackett is a bit of a surprise, but he put so much into Saturday's game. He was our man. He had some absolutely lung-busting runs, didn't he? And looked really tired at the end.
He needs to be looked after still, doesn't he? Managed.
Well, that's the word for both of them,
Yeah.
Innes and Corey Blackett. And it's great to see the young boy come in. He played ever so well against QPR in the EFL Cup. And if no one's seen him, he's quick, he's aggressive, he likes to get forward, and he's got a lovely left foot.
You sort of talked about him or compared him to Luke Shaw.
Yeah, got in build,
Yeah.
pace,
Yeah.
and how he sets about it. And he's comfortable on the ball. He'll play and go. And as I said, it's so good to see a young player come through.
And else also, Jez Raksaki has come straight in. I mean, obviously he travelled but wasn't on the bench at the weekend. But good to see a loan. We had so many loans that either took so long to get into the first team last season or just didn't even make the first team. So he's straight in now, isn't he?
Yeah, I think looking at social media has done about some of the commentary about him. He seems to be. There's a lot of excitement, certainly from one or two Palace point of view. I think these are really, really exciting prospects. So it's good to give him a chance so early on. I think he'll be delighted with that chance so early on and a home game as well. Interesting new comment.
The thing is, Nels, is that when he came, he spoke before the game on Saturday, and he sounded, probably the wrong word, grateful to be here.
Right.
Like he was going like, yeah, this is, and I hope I can do well. I hope I can do this. It was as if like this ain't a backward step. He was talking it up as if
it's first team football.
Yeah. So it was refreshing.
Always a forward step anyway, going from Palace to Charlton. Moving swiftly on. Still early days, but let's look at the league table, shall we? We'll start with the bottom half. We fell into it, didn't we? Sit 14th following Saturday's defeat, but a win tonight coupled with favourable results elsewhere could see us return to the coveted playoff places. The four sides in the relegation zone remain unchanged following Saturday's results, though last season's playoff semi-finalists MK Dons dropped to the foot of the table after suffering a third consecutive defeat of the new campaign without scoring. They and Cheltenham are yet to register a single point this season, and Kurz, we touched on MK Dons Saturday before the game, not wanting 3 defeats from 3, went down 3-0 against Ipswich. Could have been a lot more by the sounds of it as well. Without having seen them and actually understanding, what do you put it down to? Do you think there's a playoff hangover?
Maybe a playoff hangover, yeah. I don't know if they've strengthened or changed it too much, but the disappointment of getting beat in the playoffs and then it's a short break and you're back in and, and perhaps the enthusiasm's gone a little bit, I'm not too sure, but, there's a bad start and, it's surprising really. Yeah. But Ipswich, as people were talking about, have done a lot of business, haven't they? So
let's have a look at the top half, shall we?
They may be the team to have a look at.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ipswich claimed top spot with that win over MK Dons, a good one as well. Sheffield Wednesday rose to second. Tonight's opponents, Plymouth, joined in the playoff places by Bristol Rovers, Peterborough and Derby. I mean, they're just switching almost every game at the moment, aren't they? Saturday's visitors, Cambridge, also on 6 points, having run out 2-1 victors over Exeter on Saturday. And Nels, your former side, Plymouth, have beaten 2 of the newly relegated sides in Barnsley and Peterborough already this season. How much optimism and excitement is there at Home Park?
I think it's a great time for the club. They've kept the core of the side. They haven't changed too much. It looked to me that there were sort of 8 of the core that played most of last season there, and he's added in some exciting players on loan, so he's used the loan market well.
Now, sorry, excuse me 1 second. I've got Carl Leeburn calling me. Excuse me 1 sec. Carlo, yeah, I'm just on air at the moment. I'll call you a bit later on. Yeah, okay. He's just gone off. No, it's gone off. Carl Leeburn, Miles' old man, has just called me there.
Oh. Does he not know the team?
He must know the team, and he must know we're on air as well. Maybe he wanted to say something about the team, I don't know. Sorry, Nels, you were saying.
Yeah, it's a really good time for the club. I mean, their performances so far, I think they'd be very, very disappointed because it's a similar situation to Charlton up at Accrington. They were in the game up at Fleetwood and conceded a last-minute goal. So they'll be very frustrated with that because you wouldn't look at that as the most difficult away game on paper. But they've then done very, very well against 2 of the sides that came down. It's interesting to see that they lost out on the last day of the season, if you remember, to MK Dons with that amazing 6-0 drubbing that they got. And if you look at the league table, 3 of those 4 teams that went in the playoffs are in the very much in the bottom ranks at the moment. So it just shows you it can be a case of not bouncing back well as you come back into the season, whereas Plymouth so far anyway seem to have put that disappointment behind them.
What does it tell us about the course of the season as well, that with 3 games in, there's not one side left with a 100% record?
Yeah, I think that can happen at the start of the season. You bring in new faces, you're trying to get a blend right. The games come thick and fast. It doesn't surprise me. I don't see in this league that there's one team. You mentioned that Ipswich have done a lot of business, but when you do a lot of business, sometimes bringing a load of new players in, that can have the other effect where it takes a really long time to settle down. So I think we'll see the teams that we'll kind of expect to see the teams after about 6 to 10 games starting to emerge. I don't see some of those teams that are down there at the bottom at the moment being in that position for too long, personally.
He's just texted me, Carlo. He said, "Oops, just thought, you're on air, aren't you?" Who's in the studio with you? So I've texted him, it's you, Nels.
And what's he say?
He hasn't got back yet.
Best thing that happened to Carlo when he turned up.
I tell you what, you two were very good together, weren't you? Yeah. Anyway, moving swiftly on, let's get to a full fixture list in League One this evening. And the standout fixture, you have to say, is Peterborough. They're up against Sheffield Wednesday, while the weekend's opponents, Cambridge, have a tough-looking trip to Portsmouth. Elsewhere, MK Dons will be seeking their first win of the season, maybe even just their first point against Port Vale, a stadium MK, and Charlton will be doing likewise at Fleetwood. And look, Curbs, I said Peterborough Wednesday is the pick of the bunch tonight. Well, what did you make of Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday, considering they're many people's favourites to win the title, let alone go straight up?
I think I was a little bit stunned by our performance, in the first half, first 60 minutes, where we kept possession, we stifled them really. The crowd was booing, which was unbelievable for like the third game of the season, but expectation levels.
No,
but
we turned it around. We turned the fans on them in that first half.
Yeah, but we didn't get the goal because I think we needed to do that. They scored, in their eyes, a really good goal, didn't they? It was a great cross and a bullet header. Every time I see that league table, I just think there's like half a dozen, even more Premier League clubs in there, and it's going to be so difficult to get out of this league. And the one thing is your home form. I keep going on about it, but everything's a bonus away from home. Get this right. So tonight's, I think these next 2 games are really important for us, for the fans, for Ben, and for the team.
Exeter welcome Wickham tonight. I bet you wish when you were at Plymouth that had another Devon side back in the day, didn't you? How much travelling do you used to do?
Yeah, we used to do an awful lot of travel, but I was very fortunate at Plymouth. We had a tremendous team spirit, really good team spirit, and you soon get used to it. I think our closest game was Bristol City, so we did get the bonus of playing them over Christmas, but it wasn't that much of a bonus because we had to go away the night before, so it was Christmas night. We had to stay away, but it's a great football club. They've just had a huge investment from the States. I think they bought about 10% of the club, put £4 million in. They're just about to buy a big new training ground. The ground's looking great. They've finished the grandstand now. The crowds are holding up. They had a good season last season, looking to build on that again. So there's a lot of things that look like they're going right for Plymouth off the pitch at the moment. Setting up to be what I think they are. They should be at least a championship side, but very much like Charlton at the minimum.
Well, with respect, if Plymouth should be a championship side, then we should be top-end championship, even Premier League.
We just did a pre-season week down there, and play Exeter, Torquay, and Plymouth. And Plymouth was always a proper game with a crowd, nice stadium, and they've had their ups and downs, haven't they, over the years, but they seem a bit more stable now than perhaps in previous years.
Yeah. Before we move on to club news, he's just texted back, Carlo, top man Nels.
Oh, it's very kind.
Yeah. I'll tell him you said the same as well. Let's get to club news now, shall we? And here are the updates. We're back in action here at the Valley on Saturday when we host Cambridge, with prices starting at £23 for adults up until the day before the game. Season tickets also remain on sale, with prices starting at just £285 for adults. That equates to only £12.40 per league match across the full season. Head to booking.cafc.co.uk to get your tickets now. Fans who are planning to watch Saturday's game against Cambridge live on Charlton TV are reminded they must be outside of the UK and Ireland to be able to watch. We are only permitted to live stream Saturday matches overseas, and that is due to EFL broadcasting rules. Supporters who are outside of the UK and Ireland are reminded they can purchase a subscription for Charlton TV for just £220 per year or £35 per month recurring. That subscription will allow you to watch every men's first team league game live, as well as a host of other matches from under 21s, under 18s and women's sides as well. The cost per match of the annual subscription breaks down to less than £5 per game, which is based on you only watching the men's first team league matches. And last season, Charlton TV streamed exactly 99 games across the club's different teams, so you certainly get your money's worth with the subscription. Head to cafc.co.uk to get yours. Now, Kurs Brownie and I had a great time engaging with fans, didn't we? Via WhatsApp here in the Charlton TV studio.
Auckland.
All over the place. On Saturday, you can get in touch with us again tonight by messaging the number on screen. If you have a question for myself, Curbs or Nels, and send it in by WhatsApping the number on screen 07384 517 580, and we could well read it out live on air. Well, Charlton's under-21s made it 2 wins from the first 2 league games of the season yesterday afternoon by beating Sheffield United, an 8-goal thriller at Parkview Road. We just saw Aaron Henry scoring the opening with a stunning free kick. I've got a feeling he might be more nervous a little bit later on, more on that later. We'll also see 2 second-half goals from prolific striker Daniel Kanu. Lucas Ness and Dylan Gavin were also on target for Danny Sender's side, with the game finishing 5-3. The Charlton women's team concluded their pre-season campaign by putting in a valiant performance against WSL side West Ham on Sunday. New signing Heidi Logan opened the scoring for the Addicts on 9 minutes, but 2 second-half strikes from the Hammers saw them take the bragging rights. Karen Hills' squad start their Barclays Championship campaign away at newly promoted Southampton this coming weekend, and we certainly wish them the very best of luck. OK, and finally, we'd like to remind supporters the club will be launching its brand new Cross Beer Challenge at half-time tonight. This is what I was talking about. Here's owner Thomas Sangard to explain the rules.
Hey there. Now we're going to have some fun. We need all Charlton fans here at the Valley on Tuesday against Plymouth. Not just to support the team, but also to get a chance to get a free beer or free drink. Yes, you heard right. A free beer or free drink. So this is how it works. So I'm standing here at the halfway line, and one of our men's first team players are going to kick the ball to see if he can hit the crossbar. If he hits the crossbar, every home supporter in the stadium here on Tuesday will get a free beer or free drink. So get to our website, book your ticket, and read about the details. See you on Tuesday.
Player will have 1 shot to hit the crossbar from the halfway line. I'm just being told it is first-year pro Jason Adigan. Pressure on Jace there. If the player hits the crossbar, every Charlton fan in attendance will get a free beer. I think that includes us as well.
Oh, we need it. Well, it's a bit hot in here at the moment.
That's for the next home game, though, not tonight. Cambridge on Saturday. Get your tickets now at booking.cafc.co.uk and visit cafc.co.uk to read the full details. OK, right, this season marks 30 years since the club's famous return to the Valley. Remember that, chaps?
Very well.
Very well indeed.
Very well.
Steve Sutherland is part of the formerly recently formed 30 Years Celebration Committee, and early this week he spoke to Charlotte Richardson.
Thank you, Scott. I am delighted to be joined by Steve Sutherland from the club's 30-year celebration committee. Steve, first things first, can you cast your mind back to 1992 when the Valley looked very different to how it did today?
Slightly different, yeah. Of course, it was an incredible day, that actual day, but the build-up to that previously with what Lenny Lawrence did to keep the club going at Selhurst Park, and then Alan and Curbs, Gritty kept it going at West Ham to give us the chance to come back, and obviously what the fans did. It was an iconic time to be at Charlton.
Tell us a little bit about the celebration committee and the events that you're all planning.
Well, I was very pleased to be invited to be chair of the committee, and it's a group of people representing all aspects of the club and the trust, Charlton's Community Trust, and the supporters groups, and it's to organise a range of events to celebrate that iconic day in 1992. So it'll be mainly centred on that weekend, the 2nd, 3rd and 4th of December, and we'll be announcing more details in due course. But yeah, there's a lot of plans going on about making it a very special day.
And you mentioned that it was an iconic time in the club's history because, of course, not only did we return back to the Valley, but the club's community trust was founded. And I know you do a lot of ambassador work. How proud are you of the work that it continues to do this day?
Intensely proud, intensely proud. I mean, it's been said lots of times, but Jason Morgan started it with a bag of balls, literally, famously, 30 years ago, this August. So from one man and a bag of balls to now, probably one of the biggest in Europe community schemes, and I think Charlton fans are not always aware of that. 80 different projects across South East London and Kent. Any Charlton fan should be intensely proud of it. And yeah, we're celebrating the 30 years of that and all the work that's been done and groundbreaking work that's been done in the community.
And what's really nice as well is that the celebratory events, part of the funds raised from that will be going to the community trust.
Absolutely,
so they can continue their work for the next 30 years and beyond.
Well, that's very important because we set it up as a trust in 2003. So it's a separate charity, if you like. And so raising funds is vital. That's how it survives, through grant funds and fundraising. So to receive a percentage of the income generated from all these events and dinners and whatever we do is vital to continue the work. And that includes the actual weekend and the game itself, so against Cheltenham. So yeah, I mean, it's a massive year for the trust as well as the club.
Finally, Steve, just how important is it for supporters to back these celebrations and get involved with the events taking place?
Oh, I think so. I think Charlton fans are intensely proud, mainly because of the work Charlton fans did to get us back here as well, with the Valley Party and things like that. So I think Charlton fans are intensely proud of this particular occasion, and I think it's right that we recognise it every landmark, and so 30 years, it's absolutely right that all the fans get involved with it, and I'm sure they will. There's a range of events from Q&A evenings to a Legends match here on the Sunday. And so there's something for everybody to come and get involved, and I'm pretty sure it'll be a great success.
I'm sure it will be as well. Thank you so much for joining us, Steve. Scott, really looking forward to celebrating this landmark and iconic occasion with the 30-year celebrations. Back over to you in the studio.
Thanks very much, Charlotte, and great to hear from Suthers there as well. And Curbs, look, 2 questions in one, really. Club's come so far in the last 30 years, hasn't it? And the job that Jason Morgan has done as well, the trust.
Absolutely. I mean, he's right, Steve. Jason is a famous picture of me, Gritty and Jason, where he's got that bag of balls. So, yeah, I think, listen, the people that got us back to the Valley were the fans, the political party, the directors, and the players like Nels, who was playing at Upton Park and kept the thing going.
Not me, then.
Well, and you, yeah, but we was trying to sell you, right, to get some money in to get back to the Valley, but they come and bought. Chelsea were looking at you, but bought Barnes instead. But would have got more money if you'd have gone.
They got me a year later.
Oh, and they got you, yeah. But everyone was in it together. It was like us against the world, if you like, and it was imperative we got back here. I did say at the time, we've been away for 6 or 7 years. And the 7-year-olds were now 15-year-olds supporting other clubs. We had to come back and get our support back.
Yeah. OK, well, the Valley of 22, as I said, is certainly a lot different to the Valley of 92. We all can testify to that. And we're sure that some fans would love to own a model of the modern Valley. A few years ago, supporter Adam Dobson decided he was going to make a replica of the modern Valley. Take a look at this.
I'm Adam Dobson. I'm training to become an architect, and during my time at university I found a bit of free time to make a Lego version of Charlton Stadium, the Valley. All my interest really lies in stadium architecture, and so my research really looks at the social value of stadiums and sort of unlocking that sort of hidden potential for what they can become. Been a Charlton fan for as long as I can remember. Me, Dad and Granddad have always always gone to matches together. And it was when my grandfather passed away. It was sort of the catalyst to start this kind of project. So there's approximately 20,000 Lego bricks. I started off just making the East stand, so that's the stand that me and my dad and my granddad always used to sit in. And so I just sort of started off with that and trying to work out how to get the lettering of the valley. All the way through university, each summer I made a sort of an extra stand, and then I was fortunate enough to get a job with And Architects. They're the architects who designed Charlton Stadium, and so it helped in that sense of getting the job and part of my portfolio. And then the bits when I got a little bit stuck on, it was quite nice to have the actual floor plans and details of the actual stadium to refer to. The process in sort of designing it was a slightly odd one. I know the stadium very well from being a fan and going there every other Saturday. But it sort of began from like the inside out, so sort of looking at the inside of the bowl of the stadium, and then sort of working out proportionally, making sure that I had every gangway, I had every vomitory, and then the lettering on the seats to make sure that I could get those kind of details. So approximately, it's give or take with Lego bricks, it's not accurate, but it's 1:200 scale. So it's about 200 times smaller than the actual stadium. And then it was a case of sort of looking at Google Earth and sort of Google Maps, and you kind of see like the 3D view you can get on that. And then yeah, sort of looking at images and trying to match it. I've tried to get some nice elements in it, so like the roof and stuff can be lifted off, so you can see some of the details a bit clearer inside, so fans to enjoy. I sort of built over a period of 4 years, and then sort of at that sort of time on furlough, I sort of finished it off. So the last 2 years, it hasn't really. It's just sort of been sat in my parents' house. So about time I finally, tried to put it out there.
Absolutely amazing, but Adam, it would only take you 2 years if you'd have just done the 92 model, just port cabins and then a bit of a stand. I mean, that's amazing though, isn't it? Would you have had the patience, Nelson? Curbs probably wouldn't have done. I know Brownie definitely wouldn't have done. I wouldn't. You might.
No. If I was at university, I wouldn't be building Lego stadiums, to be perfectly honest. I think I'd have better things to do, to be honest. But
there's no better thing to do than build a valley.
Well, he's done a fantastic job of it, and 1/200 scale, fair play to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Adam, big thank you for allowing us to film and feature that. And also just well done, an incredible model. Let's move on now and have a quick chat, Nels, about somebody becoming a world champion earlier this summer. You alluded to it earlier.
Yes.
Back in May, you and England were crowned as the International Super Masters World Champions over Zurich. There you are. Tell us a little bit about the experience. And are you the underage player there?
No. 61. So
you're looking well, mate.
Yeah. No, it was a great experience. I've been getting involved with the over 60s on the 11er side, and it's not walking before you. It is actually jogging. And I
did say that in rehearsal.
I was actually invited by the manager of the over 50 side to see whether I would like to go over and play in a FIFA tournament at FIFA's headquarters. I think there was about 12 countries involved in our section, and there was an over 65 section as well, which over 2 days, it was at FIFA's headquarters in Zurich. It was a fantastic experience. The facilities from FIFA were amazing. I wonder where all the money's gone to fund all of those things. That's another thing. But no, I really enjoyed it. Over 200 players over 60 taking part, which is a great advert for the inclusivity of football, social side of football.
It's incredible. Look, you look, honestly, you look $1 million considering you're 61 years of age. But do you enjoy playing even today?
I think all the time that I can, and my joints are holding up, and I feel as if I can play a decent game and make a contribution, I'll try and go as long as I can. There is an over 65 side I've got my eyes on, and there actually is an over 70 side.
Is that?
So there's hope for me, yeah.
I was going to ask when the next when do you defend the world title? Is it in 4 years' time? So then you make the under 65?
Well, actually, they've been invited out to Qatar by FIFA. There's a group going out there to play in a 4-side tournament, but I'm not going to go. But we'll see. It's just it doesn't work, and I've got to be honest, I don't necessarily agree with the principles out in Qatar either, so I'm going to give that one a swerve. But no, it was a great experience. I loved it, and we did very well as well. And of course, my son lives in Zurich these days, so I got to see him as well, which made it even better.
Well, he's booked his place for Keith Peacock's, Sutherland's, veterans game, isn't it?
Yeah, in December.
Was it an over 60s game? Oh, I'll be all right.
I don't know. I don't know what veteran. What's veteran actually mean?
35 and over.
Yeah.
Oh, right, OK. Me know we'll get a game then.
No, I've been asked already. My Achilles won't hold out unless I train beforehand. So Keith wants to be my personal trainer, Keith Peacock. Anyway, back to tonight, and Academy graduate Albie Morgan has certainly made a very good start to the season, and Charlton TV caught up with him earlier this week.
The games are coming thick and fast. Early days of the season, we're hot off the heels of Saturday's result with Sheffield Wednesday, where it's safe to say we didn't really come away with what we deserved.
No, I think that's football though. Derby game the week before, some may say we didn't deserve to get 3 points there, and we come away with all three. And then obviously the game on the weekend deserved a lot more than we ended up with and come away with nothing. So I think that's football at the end of the day. We've got to get on with it, move on. But coming out of the game, there were so many positives to take from it. Looking back to last time we played Sheffield Wednesday, there was minimal to no positives to take. It was just a bad day all round. But to see how far we've come as a group, and the new players and the manager and the staff, so many more positives to take from the game, and one we can look back on and think we was undeserving of the loss. But like I said, so many good things that happened throughout.
A lot's been made about the shift in style of play and the formation, the 4-3-3. We're playing with midfield three. Obviously, you're occupying one of those positions, and it's your position to lose, I think it's fair to say, over these first few weeks. Is it fair to say that this was going to be a big season for you as far as that sort of stuff was concerned, and holding down that consistent place and showing what you're about?
Yeah, of course. I think it's the same for every year. I think you go into the first couple of games off the back of pre-season hoping you've done enough to be the one that's playing, and thankfully I've done that this year. I've started well. Personally, I think as a group we've done obviously really well in comparison to last season, of course. But no, I think, like you said, my place to lose. I've got to keep going, keep putting in the performances, keep adding to my numbers, which I'm yet to do yet, but I want to keep getting on the score sheet, getting assists, and I want to keep providing for the team. So, of course, I think we'll see how the next few games go, but I think it's game by game we've got to take it and really look from game to game, like I said, and not get too carried away.
Speaking of numbers, I think it's easy for fans sometimes to forget how many games you have played for this football club at such a young age. You hit the 100 mark last season. I mean, you must be setting targets for yourself every season, but this one in particular, for the most amount of appearances in a season, the most amount of starts and goals as well. All those sort of things must really factor into what you want to achieve, especially after a good start.
Yeah, I think myself, I've got a good feeling about this season. I think I've started well. Pre-season was good for me. I come back fit, feeling good. Got a good run of games in pre-season. Got up to the 90 minutes before the first game, which was obviously good for me. Going into that first game against Accrington, but no, like I said, I think I just need to keep working hard and keep showing in training, keep showing in games what I can do, and as a team, hopefully we can move forward.
How much do you feel this shift in style benefits you? Because we've seen you spraying some lovely passes around in the first few games. I mean, do you think the way we want to play, the formation and the style of play, really allows you to express yourself in the ways in which you think, you know, your strengths are?
Yeah, personally, I think it suits me down to a T. The way we play is so much more calm on the ball, just having possession, making the other team do the work, which is weird in a way because it's been a while since we've been on a team which has dominated the ball and really took a hold of the game. I mean, to go to Sheffield Wednesday and dominate possession and show that we can really compete with a team who's arguably going to be up there is obviously a positive for us to take. The loss is one thing, but to come in this week and we can look back going into Plymouth thinking we've done everything we can apart from maybe stick the ball in the net. It's not a bad problem to have, I think, going into the game on Tuesday, just knowing we need that last little bit of clinical edge, and that could be the difference. You mentioned Plymouth. Obviously they were a team who did have a good season. They just at the last minute dipped out the top six, but they're a team again that people will be looking at this season potentially to be in and around that playoff picture. So it's a real tough start, isn't it? Obviously Accrington away, it's a tough place to go. Derby, promotion favourite. Sheffield Wednesday, also another promotion favourite. And then Plymouth, someone else you expect to be up there. It gives us a good sign of what we're about, doesn't it? If we can get a good performance in again tomorrow. Of course, we're only 3 games in. There's still a long way to go, but it's easy to say that there's no
there's no hard games in this league, but there genuinely isn't, I don't think. There's no games you go into thinking we're going to roll these over, we're going to get an easy 3 points, striker's going to score a hat-trick. There's none of them. Whoever you play, they're going to give you a game and it's going to be difficult. So as a team, we know that, and I think the more aware we are of that, the more focus we have during the build-up to the games, when we get to the games, and we don't take anything for granted. I think we can have a real good go at it this season, yeah.
And it's back-to-back home games this week. Plymouth tomorrow, Cambridge on Saturday. Coming away from home Hillsborough, they great atmosphere always at that place. But we showed what we can do as far as the fans go against Derby and what a difference they could make. So you must be looking forward to having that behind us for the next 2 games with 6 points up for grabs.
Yeah, that's it. That Derby game was obviously great for all of us. For me, I've experienced that, but for the new boys who were really impressed with how the fans kind of come across and show real belief in us to keep going and keep showing faith in us to the last minute, which obviously has a massive effect on our performance, I feel. Them getting behind, making noise has a real big impact. So obviously I'm grateful for that, we're grateful for that, but now we've got 2 big games coming up this week where we think we can have a real good go at it. So I'm looking forward to getting back to the Valley, and I hope the fans are there making noise like they have been.
Well, there he is, Curbs. He's made his debut, 2018. He's still not really a regular, though this could be his season. He's saying it feels it is. What have you made of his start to the season?
Well, I think he's impressed Ben Garner, that's for sure, but I think he's had, perhaps in his 4 years, I'm wrong here, probably 4 or 5 managers. So he's had to try and impress every single one of them, and that's very, very difficult. But it looks like he's impressed Ben. What I like about Morgan and his infusion, etc. What I like about it, we've got 2 homegrown players out there tonight. Yeah. And I know that Thomas is keen on the academy and bringing players through. So Miles on the bench.
Well, yeah, Charles Claydon's in, isn't he?
Yeah,
Obviously, we've got Jez Raksaki on loan from Palace as well. Sam Novell's the other change. About Plymouth, Nels, who do we need to watch out for?
I think Fitness has. I think he's had a really good season. He's got a couple of goals already, and of course Ryan Hardy's a proven goal scorer at this level. So yeah, I think they'll be the 2 that we'll be keeping an eye out on.
Curbs, you've touched on it already. In fact, both of you have as well. 2 big home games coming up, haven't we?
Yeah. Well, when you show the League Table, I know it's only 3 games, but we're playing 2 of the top 6 over the next 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
So it's an opportunity to lay a marker down, and we know how important the games are. Decent atmosphere again tonight, 3 points.
I love it when you watch that, all the warming up and the team meetings, and then just before I had to kick off, remind me again what I've got to do, Gaffer. But he's done really well though, Albie, hasn't he? And he's better going forward than he is in a defensive position.
Yeah, I like his enthusiasm. I don't know where his best position is. I'll tell you what we're talking about tonight. It's a big game for Claydon, home debut or whatever. Charlie Kirk, Nels mentioned it earlier. We've got to see Charlie Kirk, what we've bought, and Ben stuck with him, put him in. Can he turn it on tonight?
We may be 14th in the table at the moment, but it's still very, very early days. Plymouth currently sit in 5th, but we beat them, and whether we end up in the playoffs tonight, playoff places, I'm not sure, but we will be above them. Let's hope we can get all 3 points. Our commentary team, Terry Smith and Greg Stubley.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Nels. Thank you, Curbs. And welcome everybody to the Valley for this fixture against Plymouth.